U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
Powered by fossil fuels likely means we're going to rely more on batteries and the metals that make them. Because land-based sources of these metals can meet the demand of a battery-powered world, private companies have turned their attention to the ocean floor. But mining the murky depths may come with a greater cost to the planet than it's worth. Terrestrial mining doesn't have a perfect record. It comes with a long list of environmental than it's worth. Floor. But mining the murky depths...
You should at least give the credits. Yeah.
may come with a greater cost to the planet than it's worth. Terrestrial mining doesn't have a perfect record. It comes with a long list of environmental and human rights abuses, including pollution and child labor. All this to dig up raw materials like nickel, manganese, and cobalt that are necessary for our lithium-ion batteries. Some strategies for a carbon-free future depend on making these batteries in much larger numbers and using them as a power source for electric cars or a
notable lack of coltan mentioned.
Storage method.
Hey, what do we need for nuclear?
But another source...
Concrete.
I mean, that's bad too because of Dubai.
Yeah.
And China and Russia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mostly China. A lot of China.
Definitely. No, China's Dubai.
They just fill in holes
really
with
bad
concrete
too.
and shit.
And that's what I love, the whole phrase of "you could sell sand to Arabs," you know, which is a racist thing to begin with.
Yes.
But like, literally, Dubai is buying a shitload of sand. Like,
they're running out of sand.
Yeah, we're literally running out of sand because you can't use desert sand, as we've looked at those sand crystals, pure quartz. You need all those minerals and grains to grit to form the concrete properly.
You could probably mix an artificial beach sand though.
I'm sure there's processing to do that
with desert sand, but it would be
and I bet you they sell desert sand to like, you know, like, because like people don't know this, but the brick making industry, one of the biggest slave industries, one of the biggest child labor industries, both, right? Yeah. So like, I'm sure that type of shitty sand is sold to a lot of those industries. You know, I mean, you've seen some of the bricks that they'll have in China that are literally just dirt.
Yep.
Source of these materials could lie at the bottom of the ocean. Potato-sized lumps called polymetallic nodules are rich in manganese, copper, cobalt, nickel, and other precious metals, and they're found in abundance in some areas like the Clarion-Clipperton Zone that stretches from Hawaii to Mexico. In this one area alone, known as the CCZ, nodules contain more nickel and cobalt than in all known land-based sources combined. There are a few reasons why we haven't scooped up those tempting little sea nuggets. One of them is technological. Between us and them, there is a literal ocean, and getting to them is not a matter of just distance, but pressure too. The deep sea is usually defined as the water 200 meters below the surface and beyond. Every 10 meters underwater adds another atmosphere worth of pressure, and these nodules are often found below 3,000 meters. That means the machines that harvest them would have to withstand more than 300 times more pressure than you or I feel walking around on the surface. The expense and engineering that would go into a seafloor harvesting operation has long deterred anything beyond small-scale exploration. But after decades of testing, the technology to mine the ocean floor looks like it's maturing and ready for large-scale use. For example, one company, Nautilus Minerals, has developed this trio of machines. 2 of them are for crushing up ore before the third collects it, mixes it with seawater, and sends it to a pump that lifts the slurry to vessels on the surface. The other thing standing in the way of deep-sea mining is a lack of a legal framework. Nodule-rich areas like the CCZ are in international waters. A United Nations chartered organization called the International Seabed Authority, or ISA, has been working with 167 member states and the European Union to hammer out the rules and best practices for deep-sea mining. They could agree on terms by 2021. In the past decade, though, the ISA has issued almost 30 exploratory licenses, but once the rules are finalized, operations could ramp up to an industrial scale. As companies gear up to mine the ocean, many scientists that study the ocean depths warn that mining could be environmentally devastating. Just how devastating, we don't really know yet. Because of that intense pressure at the seafloor, it's the most poorly understood ecosystem on Earth. Scientists didn't...
I can't wait for these companies to annihilate the ocean because they don't understand it. Because money. My statement before, target the people making these machines. Make it untenable to make these machines. That's the only way you stop this.
Okay.
Didn't even think it could support much life beyond a
How
few
old is
scavengers.
this? Okay. So this is from 2005, but this is from the U.S. Department of something.
Mm-hmm.
Department of Labor, I think. Bureau of International Labor Affairs. Okay. So this is blue is child labor, red is forced labor. So agriculture is the worst. As you can see, pornography is minimal, but it still ranks up there. And then you have gold at the top for child labor. Number 2 is bricks. Number 1 for slave industry is also bricks. So it's not just, obviously, here's garments. Obviously we know about garments. We've been over garments. Cocoa. We've been over cocoa, But bricks is one of those ones that's like really underrated. Like they literally will have these kids out there, like basically they're like sculpting bricks out of clay. And they make these kids do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bricks every day. And then the kids have to like carry the big stack of bricks on their back and stuff. Pretty cool.
A hydrothermal vent was discovered almost 2.5 kilometers down. Even today, marine biologists think we've only found a tiny fraction of the life that lives in the deep. Mining could wipe out organisms before we've had the chance to discover them, like microbes that have possible uses in medicine. Many microbes actually live on polymetallic nodules, which can take over 10 million years to form. So once they're extracted, that habitat isn't coming back. The waste slurry that's dumped back into the ocean once ore is extracted could also be a hazard. If it's
You're muted.
That is going to be the coolest part. I advocate so
Well, we've already seen
hard
what
for
waste slurry
this.
has done to these oil fields in Texas. What could it
Yes.
do wrong at the bottom of the ocean when they dump it all back in?
I cannot wait. Fuck me.
Like, I mean, it's just gonna settle at the bottom. It's just gonna sink. It's just gonna sink to the bottom where it was before. Physics.
You can't fix the ocean once it's fucked.
This is how you get a Godzilla. You start digging up these ancient modules, and one of them is a Godzilla egg.
You can't unfuck the ocean.
Well, look, if we
Please
don't
stop.
do this, we won't have the batteries for the future to stop climate change. Jack, don't you? I guess you want the world to burn.
Nuclear energy.
But I just love they sell it like they're helping the planet by getting this shit, though.
It's fucking.
We don't have to use slaves in the Congo to get these minerals. We can just scoop them. Cook Islands, by the way, big one.
I know.
So if you ever want to do a local story, maybe you can find something there.
Yeah.
Norway is
high up in the water
one,
column, it could possibly drift for hundreds of kilometers and disrupt ecosystems far removed from the mining site. And the site itself could be scarred for years. In 1989, scientists simulated a mining operation by dragging plows across the seafloor, and nearly 3 decades later, the tracks are still there, and the microbe and animal populations haven't fully recovered.
Awesome. Awesome.
Some of those bacteria absorb carbon from the environment, so mining operations could set back some of the efforts to go green. It's an uncomfortable dilemma. Mining on land has a lot.
No, it isn't. Just don't do it.
But they're the answer to the climate change, I heard.
Uncomfortable? Why is it uncomfortable? Just don't do it. Pretty simple solution.
Like no negatives. But
if you could actually build a robot that picked up each individual rock, delicately and wasn't going to dump waste slurry, you might be able to argue something that there's very little downside to this. But even though, like you said, microbes live on these nodules as well. But it's like, oh, fuck a microbe. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you even have a nuclei?
Well, look, I think the point that they could be useful to medical technology is kind of interesting. I think a study should be done, but we definitely shouldn't be giving preference to fucking mining companies. I think medicine should take preference over what's done with these before mining. In fact, I would say that mining should be the last on the list.
Well,
down
you
there
know,
with military contractors.
you know what I'm thinking about this?
Guillotines?
Have the
Hacks in
ability
deep sea
to
mining are
create common sense. In their brain, that part of brain is missing.
unknown and potentially huge. A future where carbon emissions are under control could depend on having enough of these resources, but who knows how universally are we do getting them? Fortunately, we're getting better at recycling these metals, and other energy storage solutions do
Hey,
exist
there
besides
you go.
lithium-ion batteries.
That's the
Maybe
one.
a
That's the
healthy
one. Hydrogen. Do it.
Yeah, just do that. Nuclear and
Do
hydrogen.
not
problem
give
solved.
money to anything but hydrogen at this point. Like,
Yeah,
we already
it's
have the
just-
nuclear science figured out, you know, and
But
no
we don't.
research
We
even needs
don't
to be
know.
advanced.
We need to put more money to figure out whether fusion is actually possible.
I mean, I thought they had a breakthrough on that.
No, I don't believe so.
Still, we can
Sustainable
start
energy.
building those now, is what I'm saying.
Yes,
Like
yes,
hydrogen, we can't.
yes.
We need to research it to have a breakthrough.
future is within our reach,
You know,
but it's
you get
going to
those-
require
You
informed
get the
people making
breakthroughs
decisions.
and it boosts your science research.
Yes,
You know, it
yes.
normally has it. You just have to check the if you check the tree, it will tell you like what like little side objective you have to do. You know, like it's like, you know, like find something on the map, like find a volcano, and it will give you something.
of debris until they
Kill
became
2 enemies with a slinger
potato-sized
will
rocks.
give you a boost in archery.
What?
You know, if you kill 2 enemies with a slinger, it gives you the science boost in archery.
Right.
So
What does
all
that
we
have
need to do
with-
is figure out what the boost is
metal
for the
rocks on the
helium
ground?
research and do that, and we'll have it.
Okay.
Better plan than this.
True.
Leave that sea turd on
Eventually,
the ground. That
billions
is
lay
poop.
dormant on
That
the
is Godzilla duty.
sea floor
Your-
until in
Eureka's.
1873,
Yes, they're not called
the
breakthroughs,
HMS
are they?
Challenger
They're called
retrieved what
Eureka's.
its
Breakthroughs
sailors
XCOM,
described
which
as
is a better game.
Sure.
peculiar black oval
I didn't
bodies
see
on a
only
scientific expedition.
news.
We now know these rocks, called nodules, are rich in
That's
valuable
Godzilla
metals
poop.
like cobalt, manganese, and nickel. All are vital to the transition to a green
All are
energy
vital
future.
to, those are Godzilla's
used
main
in
vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
Batteries, solar panels, wind turbines, and electric vehicles.
Wind turbine.
But the process used to collect them is controversial.
Got to collect them.
Yeah, well, that's what we'll probably stream as Civ stuff when we have like set up, when we actually have enough money to buy it. Because I have the whole thing. Jack just needs it on PC. Because that one's easily streamable even with low bandwidth. And it's one where you can like actually talk and do politics stuff the whole time.
Mhm.
Who knows? Maybe hang on.
Mining
I'll check something.
companies have been testing technologies to essentially suck up and retrieve these nodules and claim the environmental risks are limited.
Why do I not believe mining companies? Who is behind this company doing this? Is it Gina Reinhardt? Ecotrius, can we do something about her, please?
Is it?
Probably.
But some scientists warn using heavy machinery on the ocean floor could cause irreversible damage to a part of the ocean we still
What
know
are you talking
little
about? It's just going to sink back down.
Pacific people, the ocean is our life source. As a result, a lot of our traditions and our cultures and customs have derived from the ocean. So we really need a lot more time to be doing the proper science, the proper work.
Write her name down.
The ocean. So we really need a lot more time.
Just making sure people see the names. But yeah, I like all the climate change shit. I could give less of a fuck, right? But the ocean, right? The ocean acidification is the one thing that I think people need to know about because it is the one thing that is irreversible. Right? You're not even listening, are you?
Just melt some more ice. It'll balance out the acid. What? I mean, it's already in the earth. All this stuff that's getting put back there, it came from the earth. Like,
Sure.
God forbid we recycle stuff and put it back where it came from.
Yeah. Yeah, because we really want to go back to formation Earth where it's
Pangea?
so hot that the
Going back
ocean's
to
boiled.
Pangea, we're bringing back Pangea.
Yeah, so hot the ocean's boiled. That's pretty cool. That's what
Mhm.
we should bring back.
And
Yeah.
then it's just all one landmass.
Time to be doing the proper science, the proper work,
And then guess who will
to
have the
better
advantage
understand this.
after that? Australia. All those camels will come get put to use. Can't use boats. You'll have to fucking have camel lines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, supply lines
Across
with
the
all those
deserts of
camels.
the oceans.
Mad Max
This
never
unique
gets that part
space.
right.
At the moment, countries only have the
Seriously,
right to extract
where are the
minerals.
camels in Mad Max?
That's a good point.
Thank
Maybe
you.
they
thank
weren't
you.
in
Now,
Australia
also,
yet.
another thing that like breaks my immersion, right? So I messaged someone, they didn't reply, but I was like, they have done some modding, and I was like, look, bro, we need to put like an FGC9 in Fallout, right? Because like they can print people. Like they print synthetic people, man. And you're gonna tell me just because the apocalypse ended, before the 3D printing technology was discovered, it's not there. Fuck off, okay? I would like to have a pipe gun replacer for Fallout 4 that is FGC 9s. That would be a dope mod. And I don't know how to mod, and I'm just saying, somebody out there for a game that's basically dead now, maybe do that. Sounds like fun to me. Also, anything that's like post-apocalyptic now, where are the drones?
Yep.
You think we're going to go back after Ukraine? Have you seen the drone factories in Ukraine?
Yeah,
Like
drones everywhere.
Like all the computers are going to die, so nobody will know how to like look at the schematics again. Like, come on. Who the fuck are we kidding? Like, there should
Terminator
be
got it right.
drones all over the place in these post-apocalyptic games.
Terminator got it right.
Huh?
Terminator got it right.
Yeah. So yeah, because the hunter killers,
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?